Tuesday, one look and Fonzie's hooked.
I am in awe.
But his dream girl has a little surprise on the season premiere of Happy Days. Then Shirley's getting married. But who's the mystery groom? It's the season premiere of Laverne and Shirley.
On Tuesday night.
It's a world of celebration, of stockings hung in expectation, of winking lights and wintry wonderlands. M&M's go with the season, moms and Santas know the reason. M&M's melt in your mouth, not in your hand. All the world loves M&M's, they're a world of pure milk chocolate joy. All the world loves M&M's, they're neat to eat, fun to share, a part of Christmas everywhere. They go hand in hand with fun for everyone. All the world loves M&M's, they're a world of pure milk chocolate joy. All the world loves M&M's, they go hand in hand with fun for everyone.
M&M's chocolate candies. The milk chocolate melts in your mouth, not in your hand. Only from Atari. Made especially for systems from Atari. The video game that lets you help E.T. get home. Just in time for Christmas. Happy holidays from Atari.
So did little Richard like his presents? Oh, Howard, little Richie just loved his presents.
Hi, Rich. How are you? Oh, fine. Everything's just great. Yeah, Joni called. She and Chachi just doing fine. And Raj and Flip, they flew home for Christmas. Yeah, he's here. Fine. Yeah, okay, hold on. I want to talk to you.
Yo, ho, Richie. How you doing, huh? Yeah, of course we miss you. Hey, listen, I want you to meet somebody, all right? Say hi.
Hi. Hi.
Don't they sound gorgeous? Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what, I'll take some other time. What? We got a bad connection here? He wants us to sing.
Oh, Richard just loves Mitch Miller.
All right, we're all going to the piano now. We're over at the piano now. What?
Get around.
Fa la 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 la. All right, you want it? You got it.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Fa la 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 la. Come we now our gay apparel. Fa la 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 la. Call the ancient Yuletide carol. Fa la 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 la.
Ha ha ha.
Sitcom, all ye faithful, a Christmas podcast special, where for the fourth time I discuss 25 Christmas sitcom episodes. Please come and listen as we count down to Christmas. You should see Punky Brewster, the Partridges and Benson. Michael J. Fox will return, and for one more year the Fonz will definitely have one last episode with the Fonz.
Dearest Mother, back many decades ago there was a song. A beautiful song with an empowering message. Goodbye, gray sky. Hello, blue. Mother, these are words that I live by every day. Words that the world needs to remember. Words that I wish I had the courage to say to you. But as we spend our Christmas holiday together, me making the best out of a situation, and you glaring at me over your Christmas goose with your disapproving eyes, I realize I do not do these podcasts for you. I do them for me. I do them to talk about Christmas sitcoms. I do them to spend quality time with the likes of Jason, Christopher, Eric, and indeed even your nephew Brandon. I do it because it feels so right, it can't be wrong, watching and podcasting all month long. And so yet another sitcom, all ye faithful, comes to an end, and with this day 25, this episode 25, an end of an era. I ask that you ponder the words I've written, and maybe, just maybe, if you find a little holiday spirit in that heart of yours, you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on TikTok. Come on, lady, it's Christmas for Christ's sake. I mean, literally, it's for his sake. It's his birthday. And unlike mine for the past 35 years, you at least celebrate this one. So I say to you, Happy Christmas, Mother. Happy holidays. Happy days. And seriously, if you can give me a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, it really goes a long way to helping people find the podcast. Hugs and kisses, your son, Michael. December 25th, 2024.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. The weekend comes, my cycle hums, ready to race to you. These days are ours, happy and free, oh happy days. These days are ours, share them with me, oh baby. Goodbye gray sky, hello blue. There's nothing can hold me when I hold you. Feels so right, you can't be wrong. Rocking and rolling all week long. Do 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 do. Happy day 25 of Sitcom, all ye faithful, and Merry Christmas, everybody. Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. Saturday, what a day. Grooving all week with you. Grooving all month with you. Oh my goodness gracious, we're finally here. And if you think I'm not going to finish the theme song, I am. So let's go. Come on, baby. These happy days are yours and mine. These happy days are yours and mine. Happy days. Well, we did it. It's officially Christmas Day. And, 25 days, 25 episodes, 25 Christmas sitcoms, and for the fourth time and the final time, I'm here talking about Happy Days. And I'll tell you right now, it is, okay, I'll give you a little glimpse behind the curtain. It's December 24th for me right now, 11:50 p.m. So I will actually be crossing over from Christmas Eve to Christmas Day as I'm recording this. And the reason I'm recording it so late is, well, first of all, I got a really good night's sleep yesterday. And then today it's Christmas Eve. We went over to my friend's house and we had a wonderful afternoon and dinner and dessert. We came home. Then my wife and I watched Muppet Christmas Carol. Fantastic. And I was dozing off. She was dozing off. And then I popped up awake and said, wait a second. I want to get crack-a-lackin' on this episode because I wanted to get out to you as close to Christmas morning as possible. And tomorrow I'm going to be making meatballs, and I'm going to be making hors d'oeuvres, and I'm going to be making taco dip, and I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be a busy little boy. So I want to spend this evening with the Cunningham family and with you. And the one thing I was afraid of was the ability to actually access this episode. And here's the problem with Happy Days. As far as I can tell, only the first 6 seasons are available on DVD, and only the first 2 seasons are anywhere to stream. So on Pluto TV, there's a Happy Days like streaming channel that sometimes I'll just put on and fall asleep to, and I love it. But if I go to like Paramount Plus, it's only the first 2 seasons. I think the streaming is only the first 2 seasons. It's just constantly the first 2 seasons. So you can't even buy them. I can't go to Amazon and buy this episode. Nope. I don't think they ever released them in a nice digital way. So you have to kind of resort to looking for other websites and looking, for quote unquote movie and TV show streaming websites that, aren't quite on the up and up, but they'll take old episodes of shows and they will put them up there. Now I found one and I bookmarked it. And when I say I found one, I mean, I found this thing 10 months ago. I mean, it was I planned this long in advance. I knew this was going to be the day 25, and I found it, and it took me a while, and I bookmarked it, and I left it there, and then I came to it, you hit a couple pop-ups, and you close them, and you hit play, and it starts, and it works, and halfway through the credits, it says like, oh, you've reached the server limit, sign up for premium, and I was like, this is a nightmare. I thought I was going to get through this. This is the worst possible thing on the worst possible time on the worst possible day when I'm literally like planning this episode, this show to kind of close out a chapter in Sitcom All You Faithful. And if I can't get this episode, it would be a major disappointment for me. The rest of the world would keep on going and barely know what's going on. And me, I would spend Christmas Day just down in the dumps. But when you view source code on these episodes, sometimes you might find a link that says, oh, there's the actual video itself. And I click it. And next thing you know, I'm downloading the entire episode in about 5 seconds. It's low resolution. It played on QuickTime. But there it is, all 27 and a half minutes of it. You're going to say 27 and a half minutes? Yeah, because this episode, the one that I found, had full commercials in it. Now, it's not from 1982. That would be ridiculous if someone recorded the 1982 version somehow and saved it with the commercials. That would be the Holy Grail. No, this is from a 2004 TV Land airing of this episode with 2004 commercials, including like a commercial for something called the John Henson incident, the John Henson Project. John Henson, the guy who did like Talk Soup for a while. Then he was doing the, that show where you bumped on, like people would do it, Wipeout, that show. He did that for a while. And this was like for Spike TV, he had his own show. And it was like such a early 2000s commercial. They're like, guys, they're in a bar and the guy's like, what can a guy do to get a drink around here? He's like, you know what you can do? He goes, probably be a woman. He goes, hey, look over there, Anna Kournikova. And all the guys rush up. And then the two of them in their bowling shirts like, hey, give us a beer, please. It was completely and utterly like ridiculous. And then there was also a commercial for something called Net Zero and Net Zero Plus. Remember Net Zero? I think that was free internet through dial-up. And then Net Zero Plus was like high-speed dial-up. So it was just a little bit faster. 2004, I'm still... In 2004, I think at this point I'm using... It was like USDN or something. I didn't have broadband. That's what they call it, broadband. You didn't have like Wi-Fi or high-speed internet. They called it broadband. I might have still had dial-up, but there was something else where you use it through the dial-up. You use it through the phone line, and it was like ASDN or something like that. And those are the two commercials that stood out to me. For the most part, I flipped through the commercials really quickly because I want to get to this episode. This is season 10 of Happy Days. And watching it, I got sad for a few things because of a few different reasons. Number one, Heather O'Rourke is on this season. She plays the daughter of Fonzie's love interest, Fonzie's girlfriend, I believe. No, you know what? I was going to say Fonzie's wife, but season 11, I don't remember them being there. And he ends up adopting little friggin' the kid from Hogan Family who was on Punky Brewster earlier this year. So I don't know what happens with Ashley and Heather. But I do know what they do this Christmas. But the sad thing is, it's just, Heather O'Rourke. She's the little girl from Poltergeist, and she's in Poltergeist 2, and she's in Poltergeist 3, and then she dies in 1988. She died like at 13 years old or something like that. I mean, just a sad story. So that's the real life sadness. Then there's the retro memento, like just growing up sadness of seeing Happy Days and realizing, when I was 6 years old when this episode came out. So I don't even know if I would have watched it at the time, but it's like, oh, look at that. It just reminds me of my childhood. And knowing that this is the last Christmas episode of Happy Days. This is it. I am not day 25 next year. I'm not talking Happy Days. They only had 4 Christmas episodes in 11 seasons, which is crazy. You think there'd be 11 Christmas episodes in 11 seasons, but no, just 4. They had their first Christmas episode in season 2, then nothing till season 6. Then it was every other season. So season 6, season 8, and then today's episode from season 10, episode 10, All I Want for Christmas, which originally aired December 14th, 1982. So if we go back to December 14th, 1982, let's see what was on the air that evening. There's only listings for the major 3 networks, NBC, CBS, and ABC. On NBC was something called Father Murphy, a brand new episode titled The Witness. I don't know that at all. Followed by Gavilan. No idea what the hell that is. Designated Hero was the name of that episode. And then a brand new episode, a second part, 2 of 2 of Saint Elsewhere, Legionnaires. Over on CBS, it really looks like an amazing evening because from 8 to 9 was E.T. and Friends Magical Movie Visitors, which I found on YouTube. And I'm going to have to check this out because I'm pretty sure this is I found the right one, and it's hosted by Robin Williams, if I am looking at the right thing. And then at 9 o'clock was the CBS Tuesday night movie, I Was a Mail Order Bride. Interesting. That sounds like a really saucy movie starring Valerie Bertinelli and Ted Wass. Holy moly. The guy from Blossom. Interesting. So that's what was going on CBS and NBC. But the really important thing we need to worry about is ABC. And all I have is 8, 8:30, and 9 p.m. No idea what's going on at 9:30, 10, or 10:30. But at 9 o'clock was a brand new episode of Three's Company, The Impossible Dream. At 8:30 was a brand new episode of Laverne and Shirley, The Gymnast. And at 8 p.m. was a brand new episode of Happy Days, All I Want for Christmas. Season 10 of a show. It is rare that you see sitcoms nowadays make it 10 seasons. And when a show like this makes it 10 seasons, there's good. And when it has such a big cast, that there's a chance that people are going to be coming and going, leaving, and maybe just there as quote unquote phone, a voice on the other side of the phone. But this was a crazy one because this is the point in Happy Days where there's no Richie, there's no Ralph, there's no Joni, and there's no Chachi. Joni and Chachi left. They went off to love each other in another show, in another season, in another series. So they're gone, and they took Al with them. So even though Al was running Arnold's for all these years, Al left to go with them. And who comes back? Arnold himself, Pat Morita. He's there, and he's playing Santa at Arnold's at the beginning of this episode. We have, like the show that we used to seeing, like Roger, Ted McGinley, and Flick, which I believe is Billy Warlock. They're talked about, but they're not in this episode at all. We have mostly Jenny Piccolo and KC as like kind of the just walking around BC story, guess. I mean, Casey, she's Crystal Bernard from Wings. Kathy Silvers played Jenny Piccolo. You know her. She's been around. She was Joni's friend for years. And what happens is the friends leave, and like some friends leave or the main cast leaves, but the friends stay around. Like even though Ralph left and Richie left, Potsy was still very much part of the show. But I'm just realizing now there is zero Potsy in this episode. I did not think it was possible. So I have no idea where Potsy is or why he's there. I'm looking at trivia. It says the title of the novelty song "All I Want for Christmas Is My Two Front Teeth" was written in 1944. Okay, I don't. That was in this episode. I don't even remember seeing that. So no Potsy, no Ralph, no Richie. No. Then you go no Joni, no Chachi, like the second level. Then you go down to the 3 level. No Flick, no Roger. I mean, there is a lack of people in this episode. But you have the new people who come in. You have Linda Pearl, who plays Ashley Pfister. I hope I'm saying that right. That's Fonzie's girlfriend, who she's still acting today, and of course her daughter Heather, who played by Heather O'Rourke, who was in the Poltergeist movies, and I already mentioned, she had passed away at a young age. So they're kind of and Ashley, Linda Pearl, the Ashley character, she's in the opening credits as like one of the stars. Jenny Piccolo had to wait till the end, but no, actually, I'm sorry. Jenny Piccolo is in the opening credits. KC, Crystal Bernard, had to wait till the end, but Ashley's already in there. And I don't think she makes it to the next season. I think Fonzie's like, enough with you. But okay, so there's a lot of cast that we love that aren't there. There's some newer faces that aren't there, and there's some just the staples that are there always. Fonzie, Marion, and Howard. Those are the 3 we need to focus on. Those are the only ones that really matter. Those are the OGs, the OCs, the original Cunninghams, and Fonzarelli's. And the show, at least for Howard, gets a big story for him. His big story is his brother, Dick, played by Richard Paul, who's also, short. Dick is short for Richard. And it also works because this guy is a major dick in this episode. He's coming to town. Now he's Casey's dad, and Casey's parents are coming down there. I guess they're in Africa. His government job brings them to Africa. Casey's all excited that her parents are coming to town. Finally, no more fighting, and the Cunninghams are back together. And I was like, not all the Cunninghams, not the ones that matter. But Jenny Piccolo is completely like, she doesn't care about Christmas because she's like, I don't really care. All my father does is get drunk and try to climb up the chimney. So she's a little despondent with Christmas, but it all gets wrapped up in 5 seconds later on. And Casey's all excited because her parents are coming to town. She meets them. They're all excited, but he's like one of these guys. He's a dick who is a know-it-all. And Howard just blows up. He's angry already. He's like practicing with Marion how to talk to her brother because he likes Ted Williams over Joe DiMaggio. So that becomes a major thing. And he tries to help Howard with like how to light a fireplace. He does that wrong. That becomes a major thing. He questions everything. He won't let him lift the luggage. It gets to the point where they actually fight. They come to fisticuffs, and that's towards the end of the episode. We'll get there. At the beginning of the episode, I saw Jenny Piccolo and Casey talking, and they kind of go their own way. We see Arnold show up as Santa Claus taking pictures. I'm sorry. Arnold. It's crazy because Arnold, it's called Arnold's, and Arnold's actually there. And Fonzie brings Heather in. She's like, Santa, can you get me a dollhouse and a something else and a baby carriage and a baseball glove? And Fonzie's like, that was Fonzie's idea. And he says, I don't want her to grow up a sissy. I was like, okay, Fonzie. Like that. That's an old word. And she's like, one more thing. Can you get my mommy to make up with my grandma and grandpa? They're like, that might be too tough. She's like, that's all right. I didn't get it last year anyway. Thanks anyway, Santa. So it seems like family is the theme of this episode. Heather wants her mom to reconnect with her parents, and Howard is trying his best not to fight with his brother. When Fonzie talks to Ashley about it, and she's like, it's so nice that the Cunninghams are getting back together. It's so nice for family. And he's like, how about you with your parents? She's like, they disowned me when I got married, and they've never checked in with me. When my husband left me, they never spoke with me. And he's like, all right, fine, fine. And he wants her to do it, but he steps off. He's like, all right, I guess I won't. So back at the at Arnold's, Fonzie's in his office, and Jenny Piccolo goes in, and she's like, oh my God, this is just a bathroom. She was expecting so much more. And she thought, it would be something special. And then she gets even more disappointed when she looks on the wall and she goes, that's not even my right phone number. And she corrects it on the wall. And here's a weird thing in this episode, and it happened a lot. There were jokes that didn't get laughter. And I don't know at this point if they're still doing it in front of a live studio audience. I figure they are. But I also figured that they would sweeten the laughter. They would put some canned laughter in. They wouldn't just rely on the laughter of the audience. And there were moments where I thought there should be a laugh track. There should be a moment there where there's a laugh, and it kind of wasn't. So she's helping. Oh, Fonzie brought her in there to help with gift wrap. He's like, I can get gift wrap on my own. How you gonna gift wrap? And then he's like, what is it with you stubborn women? And because Jenny's upset with her parents, and Ashley won't talk to her parents. Jenny's like, I live with my parents and I don't talk to mine. So Fonzie goes on about the importance of family and all these things, and how, some people would just like to have a family. Because Ashley said to her, how would you feel if your parents disowned you? He's like, hey, I know it firsthand. So Fonzie says some nice things, and Jenny's like, you know what, Fonzie, I have to go. I just realized I need to go buy presents for an older couple than I know. So realizes she wants to reconnect with her family. And that's it. We don't see Jenny Piccolo again. We don't know what she buys. We don't know if she makes it to the mall or the shopping center or wherever you go, whatever year this is supposed to be. We don't see them at all. We see more of Howard and Dick fighting. I talked about the fireplace. They're going to watch the big game. The Colts are playing the Packers, and Dick, for some reason, thinks the Colts are going to walk all over the Packers, and he doesn't want to be a Packers fan. It's like, Dick, didn't you grow up with Howard? I assumed you both grew up in, Milwaukee. You have to be Packers fans. That's how it works. Like that confused me. So they finally fight. They finally snap, and it leads them to, let's go outside. We're not children. We're grown men. Let's go outside. So they go out to the front yard and they start fighting. Literally, you see snowballs being thrown. You hear fighting constantly going on. The women are going crazy at the window. They're like, stop it, stop it. Then they start rooting their husbands on. Casey starts yelling, no, everyone stop. And the both mothers, Marion and Howard's sister-in-law, are like, back off, Casey. And they fling her back. And the fighting's going on. Fonzie comes in. He goes, hey. And he snaps his fingers for all the women to be quiet. He's like, be quiet, women. I'm Fonzie. He literally snaps them quiet. And he says, I am disgusted. And what was kind of funny, and again, no laughter, was while he's talking to them, he's yelling at them about the fighting going on. Two men outside fighting. You can still hear the fighting. There's like grunting, and like you hear like the guys kind of yelling. I thought that was actually kind of funny. But again, not really any laughter. Then he's like, you guys, get in here. They both come in covered in snow. People, that's when the laughter's there. And he's like, you guys are arguing over stupid things. Joe DiMaggio versus Ted Williams. Everybody knows it's Willie Mays. And they both look at him like, huh? And he's like, he goes, why are you guys fighting? And Dick's like, I don't know. You used to like when I used to give you advice. All I ever wanted to do was help. He's like, Dick, I used to like it, but I'm a grown man now. I have a family of my own, and it comes off as condescending. I'm starting to resent it. So they realize that the error of their ways. They hug and they make up. Yay. So that family is fine. We know Jenny Piccolo and her family is going to be fine. We see Howard and Dick are going to be fine. And now we still have the unresolved storyline of Ashley and her parents. It's Christmas morning now. Heather gets up. She's all excited. She sees the dollhouse. She sees the baseball carriage. She sees the baseball mitt, but it's kind of big. He's like, oh, I bought this for your mother. So he got them both baseball mitts. This one's for you. And she goes, I got everything I wanted. So where's grandma and grandpa? She starts looking behind the tree, pretty much like Punky Brewster did, looking for her mom. And they're not here. He's like, well, maybe your mother could make a call. So Fonzie's really overstepping his bounds here. And she's like, I guess I could. She goes, this is the best Christmas I ever had. And they both guilt her into calling and at least wishing them a Merry Christmas. So she picks up the phone. She starts the call. She goes, I don't even know if I remember the number. And Heather goes, it's 555. And somehow, for some reason, Fonzie knows the last four digits. He's like 2342. And I don't know why he knows that of the parents. So she answers the phone, and it seems really nice. And this is really depressing. She goes, it's Ashley. Yes. Yes, I'm fine. It's been a long time. Oh, it's been hard for me too. Heather's great. She's wonderful. Oh, you'd love her. Oh, and I met a really great man, and you'd love him too. We should get together really soon. And she hangs up. Like, hey, it worked. She goes, oh, that was just the housekeeper. My parents are away on vacation in the Bahamas. Yikes. So her parents, not even thinking of her, just went to the Bahamas, didn't even think about her or her granddaughter. If I was Heather, I'd be like, screw you, grandma, screw you, grandpa. I got the Cunninghams and I got Fonzie. That's all I ever need. So she apologizes, like, well, maybe next year. And Heather goes, that's okay, mommy. Thanks. This is the best Christmas I ever had. And Fonzie's proud of her, and they all kiss. And Heather's like, I have mistletoe. And Fonzie's like, hey, I got mistletoe. He carries it with him because he's Fonzie. Lifts it up. They all give each other kisses, and everyone's happy. And we cut over to the Cunningham house, and everyone's there, including Arnold, which I was very happy about. So he's not alone on Christmas. I don't know if he has a family. I have no idea. I think everyone's there but Jenny Piccolo. I think Jenny Piccolo is with her family. So we don't see her, but Casey's with her parents. Um, Fonzie, of course, is with his parents because that's who Howard and Marion are. They really are Fonzie's parents. And oh, Jenny Piccolo is there as well. So she made up with her parents, but she still wants to go over to the house of the Cunninghams to, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, look, I spent Christmas Eve with my friends and my friend's family. So maybe it's just that. Maybe it's like, all right, I love you, mom and dad, but this is a bit much. There's a phone call, and of course, it's Richie. Richie calling, checking on everyone. And Howard's like, Marion's like, how's Richie Jr. doing? Oh, little Richard, he calls, little Richie doing. Oh, he's doing great. Here's your dad. He goes, yes, Joni's doing well, and Chachi too. And that's because their episode was 2 days earlier. If you know, they have another show out there. And I'm just going to say it right now. That show has a Christmas episode. That show has a Christmas episode that aired 2 days before this show. And I don't want to spoil anything, but see you next year is all I'm going to say. See you next year, because while Happy Days might be over, I might not be done with the world just yet, with the Happy Days cinematic universe. So anyway, he's like, they're all doing great. And he's like, you want to talk to Fonzie? He's like, hey, Red, Rich, how you doing? I don't know if he calls him Red or Richie or whatever. And he's like, what? I got a bad connection. You want us to sing? Okay, so they all go around the piano, and they start singing Christmas carols, and everyone's happy, and everyone's singing, and fa la 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 la, and Arnold gets the last fa la 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 la, and that is the end of the episode. That is the end of All I Want for Christmas. That is the end of episode 25. That is the end of Happy Days on Sitcom All Ye Faithful. It was it a great episode? No. No, it didn't have to be, because it's Happy Days. It's like sometimes the show doesn't have to be great because you have such a fondness for the show that it doesn't matter. You still get to see some of your friends on the screen. And I have to say, if I've ever seen this episode, I haven't seen it in decades and decades and decades. And I have pretty much no memory of anything in this. Other episodes in the past I've watched, I'm like, oh, I remember this, I remember that. I have no memory of here. I remember the characters. I know that I remember that Fonzie had Ashley and Heather. And I know that KC was around. But when you have a Happy Days show and Potsy's not even there, it's like, okay, this is wild, because Potsy's never left. So no Potsy, no Ralph, no Richie, no Joni, no Chachi, and then no Flick or no Roger. I mean, there is a lot missing here, but they fill it in with new characters and guest family characters coming in to visit. And Jenny Piccolo was there for a long time. I'm not saying she doesn't belong there. In fact, let me look up Jenny Piccolo. Kathy Silvers was on Happy Days. Her first airing of Happy Days was from 1980. So from 1980 to 1984, she's on 55 episodes. So she's no slouch. She's part of Happy Days, but she is like B, C level part of Happy Days. And that's not even an insult. That's just a fact. But it's over. It is really, really over. As I see now, it is now 12:20 a.m. It is literally Christmas morning. Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm just going to put this episode up as soon as possible. I'm not going to wait even till the morning. So if you wake up in the morning and you listen to this show, you found this episode. And I hope maybe you take your dog for a walk, or you take a moment where you don't want to be with family and you listen to the podcast, or you just save it. You save it. Hopefully you're on vacation this week and you get to save it. I'm on vacation. For the rest of this week and then all next week as well. It's crazy because I'm like 2 weeks of vacation. I'm like, wait a minute, it's already Wednesday, but the holiday hasn't even got here yet. So Christmas comes Thursday. I think we're going to take a drive into Everett, Mass. Like they call it Encore Boston, but it's in Everett, and it's a nice casino. We're going to go there for a little bit. It was a tradition we started last year. We're going to keep that up and then go get some lunch. And I think we're going to relax some days too. I have other podcasts that I'm going to be doing. So even though this is done, look for me to continue putting shows out. Fine Movies, Fine Spirits. We just did a live stream of watching It's a Wonderful Life. That episode went up on the podcast today. It's also on the YouTube channel, the full video. That episode went up at fansnotexperts.com and the YouTube channel. And I have a brand new episode of Skeleton Crew was out tonight, or I guess yesterday technically, but I'm not getting to it because it's Christmas and I'm focusing on Christmassy things. So check that out. I'll have to do that episode sometime this week, which is fine. It's a little late. And I got to get to my other shows. I have other shows that I want to get to. This is over. The Patriots season is almost over, but there's other shows that I've been neglecting that I need to get back to. So if you're looking to hear my voice, just go to fansnotexperts.com. You can't miss me. Yeah. So I want to give a quick thank you to all my guests who joined me this year. We had Christopher, who is my co-host on Fine Movies, Fine Spirits. We had Jay, once again, who I've been friends with since college. We've had Eric, once again, who I've been friends with since high school. Chris, I've known since I was 3 going on 4. And Brandon, I've known since he was a baby boy. So my cousin Brandon joining me again, who I think I'm designating the TGIF guy. That's his lane now. So next year, back again with another Office episode with Chris, another King of the Hill episode with Jay. Possibly if we can find another Taxi episode with Eric. If not, there will be other things. And we have an idea. There's a couple ideas for Brandon. I showed him one that might be happening. But we got to get through another, year. I mean, there's like 2025 is coming. And what does that mean for this podcast, Geek Mentality? Well, it means it's going to be quiet for a while. But there will be a brand new Marchie McFly. It's coming back for season 5. It was going to be a 3-season thing, and now we're working on season 5, and I have ideas for 5, 6, and 7. So, I just got to stay alive and keep podcasting. In June, of course, there will be the 2025 Fine Movies 2025 movie month. That will be back. And then even though it's not technically movie month, last year I did, I recorded myself watching or talking about Wolverine and Deadpool. In July, I will be recording right away after I see the new Superman movie, because that cannot wait. That will be coming back. That will be a show. And then usually this episode or this podcast stays quiet until September. So we get a lot of episodes every year, but they're spread out and then they're just grouped together in a month. In a month's time, you get a ton and then it's very quiet. But I hope you stay subscribed. I hope I'm like that gym membership that you just never unsubscribe from. You never leave. You just leave it in the background for when you need it. And hopefully today you'll keep us in your hearts, keep us in your prayers, and keep us in your podcast app. I am very tired. I need to finish getting this episode up, getting it out to you, and that's it. So thank you to my guests. Thank you to the people who followed me on YouTube, followed the show on YouTube, for the comments we got. And that's I got nothing else. Merry Christmas, everybody. Enjoy the day. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas day. I will not see you tomorrow. You will not hear from me for a few months. But you can find me, as I said, at fansnotexperts.com. So the next time I hear from you on this feed will probably be March 1st. But until then, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Happy Sitcom All Ye Faithful. We did it again. This is episode 100 of Sitcom All Ye Faithful. We did it. I will see you next time. Same bad time, same bad channel. Goodbye, gray skies. Hello, blue. Okay? That's how I'm feeling. And now I'm tired. So until tomorrow, my friends, let's get together. Everyone, 1, 2, 3. Here is my theme song. This is my podcast. I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe. Cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time. And I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans Not Experts.